Andrew from Ant Fitness. Welcome to the second edition of the Ant Fitness video newsletter. It is April and it's April 2023, which means I'm extremely excited and proud and privileged to be celebrating Ant Fitness's 18th birthday. It's through the support of every one of you and the wider community that has allowed Ant Fitness to be going strong after 18 years set up here in Portland, servicing Portland and the surrounding villages and towns. And I can't thank you enough for the support you've given over the 18 years. I thought it's only fitting that for this month's video newsletter, we make it a special one and we look back at some of the memories that Ant Fitness has created in our first 18 years. And it all started 18 years ago on April the 7th, up there at the top of the hill in Walden Street, just above the shed in the Masonic Hall. Let's head up there and look back at the initial memories of Ant Fitness. So this is where it all started for Ant Fitness back in the year 2005. I remember we were on the bottom level. We had a bit of a foyer in there with a counter. We had the spin bikes in there eventually when we got the spin bikes. But when I first started, I offered only 3 classes a week and my personal training. And my exercise equipment was very minimum. All we had was a small treadmill, a boxing bag stand, a skipping rope, a bookshelf to hold 2 dumbbells, literally 2 dumbbells, a pair of dumbbells, which I think they were 4 kilo collared ones, that you can make into 4 or 6.5 kilos, and a trampoline, a mini tramp, and that was it. That's what we started with at Ant Fitness. And over time we grew. We had the demand or inquiries for casual visits, which we started here. We got a lot of, the Portland Central School came up for school sport, and then a lot of youth came in using the casual visits. It was great fun. A couple of memories I want to share with you is the window over here to my left. You can see the stairs inside. I think everyone's got fond memories of that staircase, particularly in personal training and the classes having to run to the top of them and back down. They weren't the safest stairs. And another one I want to show you. Can't really see it from here, but the hill. Many personal training clients have run up that hill. Doctor's Hill as it's known here in Portland. But come around the back, I've got a special memory I want to share with you. So this is going up the side of the Masonic Hall, and we used to do kids class and boot camp out in this area. I thought it was huge at the time. Now that I'm at the foundations, I have all that access, it doesn't seem that big, but that's not the memory I want to share with you. So back when we first started, Portland hadn't had carols by candlelight for a few years, and I wanted to do something about it. I want to spread the Christmas spirit, very passionate about that, and the cheer of Christmas. And so I decided that Ant Fitness would hold their own carols and we could do it here in the backyard. So this is where we set up, and I had my wife Monique, our gym goer, and a good friend Marie there as well on guitar and keyboard, and I was playing the guitar as well. Yes, it's a hidden talent of mine which I haven't played for a few years. And everyone would sit around in this area and we'd be set up over here. Now I was set up and I was sitting here, picture me on a stool if you will, playing along, and my stool tipped. And I remember all I kept saying as I would lay there on the ground was, keep playing, keep playing. The show has to go on. But it got lots of laughs, and it's still remembered to this day when Andrew, the fitness trainer, fell off his stool during, I think it was away in a manger from, it was a slow carol, but it was good times, good fun up here at the Masonic Hall. I also had my 2 trainees here at the Masonic Hall when I was up here, Adam and Michael Toomey. And they played a huge part in where Ant Fitness, they have played a huge part in where Ant Fitness is today and what I became. Because without what they did for me back in those early days, I wouldn't have been able to grow like I did and develop and evolve. And so a big shout out to both Adam and Michael Toomey for their efforts, and they became family to Monique and myself and our 3 kids. They were really good to have as trainees, and we had lots of good times, including the Golden Ant. Who won it the most times, by the way? Let me know, Adam and Michael. Let's head down the street. From here in 2011, we moved down to the crossing, the Father Grenell Centre, where we moved in to the top half. The youth centre had the bottom half. Let's go check it out. And so then in 2011, I moved down here in the hub of Portland, and we grew again. Many memories down here in Walden Street. Mainly the boot camps we had in the car park and down the back on the touch fields. The amazing adventures out the front, running around the streets looking for clues, especially the Christmas edition. And of course, we used to hold spin zone out the back in the back room, the room that had no light. So we put the disco lights on and it became the sweat box during those spin zone sessions. The casuals visits continued, as did all the classes, but then of course COVID happened in 2020, and I made some decisions for the future of Ant Fitness, and we stepped away from casual visits and went with the growing personal training side of the business and the love of the outdoors and the demand for the outdoors, and we moved from here to the foundations where we are now at the start of 2022, and we're loving our time down there with all we can offer in the great outdoors. And then the start of 2022, we moved into here, the Ant Nest, the old boiler house of the old Portland Cement Works, now known as the Foundations. We're directly below the stack. We get to do our group training sessions and personal training inside, but best of all, we get to take both of them, group training sessions, personal training, and not forgetting Active Ants Kids Fitness, outdoors, into the grounds of the Foundations, making use of the landscape and the trails. Hey everyone, for this month's newsletter exercise of the month, we're going to be focusing on the core muscles, and we're simply going to do plank, side plank, and the V pose. And we're doing it right here at the Foundations in front of the famous silo art. So down we go on the ground in the plank position. So you can do it on the knees for an easier version. Otherwise, we're up on the toes, forearms on the ground, elbows directly below the shoulders, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. I better put the clock on. So we're going to hold it for 40 seconds. Making sure the hips aren't sticking up in the air and not dropping down towards the ground. We want to resemble a plank of wood. Keep the core muscles activated. We're halfway. As we enter into the final 10 seconds. Keep pulling the belly button in towards the spine. 3, 2, 1, and resting down. So now we're going to do the side plank. So for the side plank, we go onto our side. So an easy option again for the side plank is to have the knees bent and going up on the knees. We've got that straight line from the knees through to the armpit. Again, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, working the obliques, so the side stomach muscles. The harder version is legs straight, one on top of the other, elbow directly below the shoulder, and we push up. And again that straight line, this time from the ankles through to the armpit. We're going to hold it for 20 seconds, making sure we're pulling the belly button in towards the spine, keeping that hip up. As we hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Resting down. We're going to go across the other side, of course, doing both sides. So your choice whether you go from the knees. Remember, elbow below the shoulder, knees bent if you're doing it from the knees, and you push up onto the knees, straight line from the knees through the armpit. Or make it a bit harder, go with the legs straight, elbow below the shoulder and pushing up, so we've got that straight line from the ankles through to the armpit, and we're doing 20 seconds. Again, you can make it more challenging by taking that top arm straight up in the air and holding it there. Hold it for another 5, 4, keep the hip up, 3, 2, and 1, resting down. And then for the third exercise, we've got the V pose. So sitting on our mats, leaning the upper body back 45 degrees. Then we're going to take the lower legs off the ground, bent at the knees, and pulling the belly button in. We'll be aiming for 30 seconds. Keeping that back straight, core activated, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. We want the lower legs parallel to the ground. You can make it harder by straightening the legs. Trying to get that V shape here from the upper body to the lower body. We've got 10 seconds to go. Keep the legs up. 3, 2, and 1. Resting down. So everyone, that's the plank, the side plank, and the V pose. 3 really good exercises to strengthen the core, the foundation of our body. I'd suggest doing 2 sets of them and 3 to 4 times a week. Enjoy activating the core. Hey everyone, it's that time of the newsletter where we check out the running calendar. Now there's only 2 events I want to focus on today, and that is City2Surf, August the 13th, and Ant Fitness's very own Born to Run Festival that we hold right here in Portland, New South Wales, using the foundations as the event hub. And the majority of the trails are right here inside the foundations of the old Portland Cement Works. So, City2Surf first. Now we're taking a group away, the Portland Hillbillies, the Ant Fitness running group. We want as many people as we can to come with us to Sydney for the iconic City2Surf, August the 13th. We've got rooms booked at Adina Apartments in Darling Harbour for 2 nights. So make a weekend of it. Message me. I'll put the phone number below, or you can DM me or PM me on Facebook and Instagram, or email me if you prefer, to get more details. But we want to get as many people as we can to come down and enjoy, experience City2Surf at its finest. I'm expecting big numbers in the event this year, second year back post-COVID restrictions. And so you've got to do it from Hyde Park in the middle of Sydney to the famous Bondi Beach. 14 kilometres, you can walk it, you can run it, and you can dress up. Now I know there's a few hillbillies already discussing whether they're going to dress up or not, but come and make it an occasion, an experience that you'll never forget. City2Surf, August the 13th, put it on your calendar. And then the Ant Fitness Born to Run Festival is on the October long weekend, the Saturday of the October long weekend, September 30. Mark it in the calendar, in the diary, September 30, October long weekend. Born to Run Festival offers this year, 2023, the 2K Kids Race, the 5K, the 10K, and the all-new half marathon. Excited to be able to bring a half marathon event, trail event to Portland. It's going to be using the trails of the foundations, and it's going to go into the Portland Common as well, so you get to experience another side of Portland if you do the half marathon event. Mark it in your calendar. Entries are opening. So get online, check out the website right there at the bottom of the screen, www.borntorunfestival.com.au, and get your entry for the kids, the 2K race, or you can do it yourself, the 5K, the 10K, and the half marathon. It's time to put the running shoes on. It's time to get training. It's less than 6 months away to the Born to Run Festival. I'm going to hit the trails right now. See you, everyone. There you are again. I was just thinking, we talked about City2Surf, we talked about Born to Run Festival. Celebrating our 18th year this month in April, it's probably a good time to share some stories of City2Surf experiences that some of the running group has had over the 18 years that we've taken the Ant Fitness running crew down. One that comes to mind, there's a few, but the first one that comes to mind, and there's probably different versions of this story that go around, and the people involved will probably deny it and probably have their own version, but the way I've heard it, I didn't see it, but I heard it, is the group of people that actually lined up for a Mr. Whippy ice cream. Now you might think, what's so strange about that? Or it wasn't before the race, and it wasn't after the race. This is during the race. So the City2Surf starting gun's gone, and they're on their way from Hyde Park to Bondi Beach, 14 kilometres, and they've stopped somewhere along that course for a Mr. Whippy ice cream. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about getting to the finish line. Stop and grab that ice cream. Good times. Another memory that I have, and again, I didn't witness it, but I've spoken to this person numerous times about it over the years, and we do have a laugh about it, is they actually got disqualified. Little did they know, they actually got disqualified as soon as the race started. Because what happened, so they were starting, if I remember correctly, in Park Street, I believe it is. So outside the Australian Museum. So they were in blue group. And so they had to turn right into William to cross the start line and head to Bondi Beach. And so what had happened, the barricades that blocked the sidewalk had been moved. And so they've actually followed that path, not knowing, unknowingly. They were innocent. They didn't cross the start line because they've taken that path that had been formed. And so the starting mats are over here. They've gone on the side of them, not knowing they haven't crossed the start line officially, but they crossed the finish line. So City2Surf organisers see that as they've started somewhere on the course. And so they were disqualified. They got a DNF in the paper. Pretty harsh, but we do still laugh about it to this day. Other memories of City2Surf, meeting or trying to meet up at the end. We always generally use the famous lifeguard tower as our meeting spot. A couple of years it's been under construction, so it's not easy to find. And you can wander around amongst hundreds, or not hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of people trying to find someone you recognise, a familiar face, a friendly face maybe. Also the walks up from Bondi Beach to Bondi Junction instead of lining up for the bus. Sometimes it's quicker if the legs have the stamina to get you to there, but it's worth it when you get to Bondi Junction for the food court and the post-celebratory meal that we share for completing City2Surf. All good memories, many more that I haven't shared. Another memory I want to share too is the famous race that was held between two hillbillies. I'm not going to mention the names, they know who I'm talking about. There'd been a bit of sledging going on, a bit of friendly banter going on leading up to it. Who could get to the finish line the first? And they were running it separately, so they weren't running side by side. So they started off in the same group, crossing the start line pretty much together, give or take a couple of seconds. And then obviously you got the King's Cross Tunnel where it splits either way. And so that, they went their own ways. And would you believe that one spotted the other on the final bend at Bondi Beach? The hunted, we will call him, didn't know that the hunter, she was closing in behind. And it's a fond memory of mine being able to be the third party watching the race of the one not knowing that one was coming right up behind. And who crossed the finish line first? Only they know, and they still argue about it to this day. But all friendly fun and games in City2Surf, all good memories. Make sure you come and create your own memories with us, the Portland Hillbillies, at this year's City2Surf. Get in contact with me. Let's have a fun weekend experiencing City2Surf. I'm going to keep running. I'm standing here in front of the bottle kilns, the historic bottle kilns at the foundations in Portland, New South Wales for this month's Ant Joke. Now I know it's a popular segment of the newsletter, both in video form and the old paper base. And after last month's joke, I promise this one's better. Why do echidnas never get sick? Because they're full of antibodies. I told you it was better. Hope you enjoyed the laugh, everyone. And that's a wrap, everyone, for our April edition, the birthday edition, 18th birthday edition of the Ant Fitness video newsletter. Couple of things to touch on before I go. One, people want to know how the Portland Hillbillies did with the Mill Pond Miles goal of 300 laps from the 1st of January to the 30th of March. We had our last session on Friday to end March, and we got agonising close, 297 laps completed by the Portland Hillbillies in that 3-month period. An awesome effort. 3 laps short, 2Ks just over. But yeah, shout out to all the Portland Hillbillies who contributed to the 297 laps. Keep an eye out for what's happening for the Portland Hillbillies during the cooler months. Talking the cooler months, daylight saving has ended now that we're into April. So it means there's more light in the morning. Make use of that, everyone. Get outside. get in the great outdoors and enjoy a walk or a run or a cycle, walk the dog, maybe go down the park and just do some of your own exercises, or come along to Amp Fitness and join us in Early Birds. We're there Monday and Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. for an early session, but make the most of those early morning sunlight rays. And of course, we've also got to mention Easter. Everyone, hope you have a blessed and joyful Easter. If you plan to catch up with family or friends, enjoy the time together. Be safe, and look forward to seeing you in the indoors or outdoors here at the Foundations, at the Ant Nest, at Ant Fitness. Be active, everyone.